I mean, this is the most devastating season ever for Democrats, ever. Every state turned more Republican. 89 counties turned more Republican. 7 battleground states. Majority went to him. The last time that happened was 20-some years ago. This is one of those moments where Americans sat there and watched. The Democrats had control during COVID, and they tried to abuse Americans. And they said, leave us the fuck alone.
Patrick Bet-David brought on this woke idiot here. That's the founder of Ben & Jerry's, who you guys know has been woke for the longest time. I mean, they posted a ton of woke stuff. The last thing that I really remember, the big scandal that I remember was on Columbus Day, maybe a year or two ago, whenever they tweeted out that, the whole Columbus Day is evil because it was stolen. We stole their land from the Native Americans. Whatever the hell that whole argument was, I don't feel like getting into here, but they tweet out and they post lots of left and woke things that you could even imagine. And I'm shocked that the Ben & Jerry's actually even went on the PBD podcast and the Value Team YouTube channel in the first place. And he went on and got absolutely embarrassed here by Patrick Bet-David himself. Let's get into this clip here where Patrick Bet-David absolutely humiliates the founder of Ben & Jerry's for their woke stances for just going after Donald Trump and many other things here live on the PBD podcast and the Valuetainment YouTube channel.
10 minutes ago, you are speaking to the audience who is loving watching you, and you showed how much the government wastes money. Then 10 minutes later, you say you trust our money going to the government, that they'll do a better job than staying in our pocket. Do you know and watching this, they're so confused right now. They're about to have a drink right now. That's a confuser. You just confuse the shit out of them. They're sitting there saying, so let me understand you, man. I really want to understand you. I like you. I eat your ice cream. You seem like a really nice, and you sincerely seem like a nice guy. And I'm really enjoying this. How can you 1 minute say the government wastes money and next minute say let's pay more money because we think they can do a better job with it?
Because I think that both things are true.
I
think about my own business. As Ben & Jerry's was getting larger and larger, I was saying, we're wasting all this money. This thing is wrong, that thing is wrong, it's leaking over here, it's, there's something that's not working right over there. I couldn't believe how much money was being wasted.
Okay.
And then I came to understand that, there's some waste in most anything that human beings do.
Oh, but there's one tricky thing here. Why do you think you were overly protective of the money that was being wasted? Why?
Because I needed to make a profit.
Because it's your money.
Well, it's your money. That's why. Because you busted your ass to make that money to create jobs.
So now imagine these guys are spending $90,000 on a bag of washers that at the Lowe's I can buy for $329. Okay? You want me to trust them to raise taxes? Hell to the no. When I see Doge and I see the money stuff that comes back, you know what I tell myself? How soon are you guys lowering taxes? Because you guys have no clue what you're doing with our money. That's what it makes me think about. Why would I give you more money that you have shown over and over again that you like to waste it? Because, so you give them more money. You don't think there's going to be more military contractors? You don't think there's going to be more big pharma coming in wanting contracts for people to get unhealthy so they can sell $100 billion of vaccines so Pfizer's revenue goes up $100 billion? You think COVID helped that Pfizer? You think COVID was a very good event for Pfizer stock? What do you think? You think COVID, Rob, isn't it true that even Pfizer CEO didn't even take the vaccine? But hey, the rest of us had to. You think that was a profitable event for them? You think they won another COVID? You think they won another pandemic? Of course. Why? Because the money goes, there was one of the...
Goes into their pockets is what he's about to say. I don't know why he got sidetracked there, but the money goes right into their pockets. And the same thing goes for war and why they don't want these wars to end and why they want to continue these wars in Ukraine and Middle East and things like that. Nobody wants these wars to end. They want the money to keep flowing in. They want them to keep going. There's just more and more money going right into their pockets. And he made a great point here, Patrick Bet-David did, with, talking to the Ben & Jerry's CEO, where he says the reason why you care so much about the other money you're talking about, the money that he's paying in taxes, and not so much about the other government waste is because it's your money, your hard-earned money. And that's why I never understand when people get mad at people like Donald Trump or other rich people for trying to pay the least amount of taxes possible. As long as they don't do it illegally, if they can find loopholes here and there, who really cares, right? The money's going to be wasted anyway. But the reason why they're doing that is because, not because they're super greedy and they're evil people. It's because they worked hard for that money. And it's just their hard-earned money, and it gets stolen from them without their choice. And not only does it get stolen out of their pockets with none of their say, they also have no say in where it's being spent. And most of the time, it's going into politicians' pockets or wars and, farming bloodshed in other countries, etc. And that's just a great point by Patrick Bet-David, that also the reason why all these things help out these elites. Like he said, the Pfizer CEO didn't even take the jab. The reason why they want these pandemics, these lockdowns, is because it funnels money directly into their pockets. The reason why they want these wars is because it funnels money directly into their pockets. And the Ben & Jerry's CEO knows this, or founder knows this, which is why he looks so uncomfortable in this conversation where Patrick Bet-David was just cooking him here. Let's get back into it.
From the big pharmaceutical companies that never took the vaccine. I just don't know which one it was. You don't think that funnels back through? No, I think the American people, the reason why they love Doge is because they're done with wasted expenditure and they don't trust the government. It's the lowest it's ever been. You've been around, so you said you were born in 1951. I think you said 51, right? Did you say 51? A lot of wasted money from 51 till today. Look at the year you were born. Look at the trust. It was 80% is where we hit. Look where it's at right now. Okay? Lowest it's ever been. What happened? They don't trust it.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
They don't trust the media. They don't trust the government because they're full of shit. They keep wasting our money. And you want to sit here. You know what I'd love to see you do? Go run on the campaign of raising taxes to 80% marginal. See what happens today. Let's have Bernie Sanders go campaign and see what happens today.
Who's going to be against raising taxes to 80% marginal on incomes over several $1 million?
A lot of people. It's my money. Why should I give it to you?
How many? I mean,
by the way, the people that are creating commerce who want to mind their own business like you used to when you ran your business and you try to create savings, those people are going to mind. It's easy for you to say it right now.
Now, to be honest, I might disagree with Patrick Bet-David here a little bit. I would mind. I wouldn't like that. I think it's BS, but I think the average American is so lethargic and mad at their own life that they just want to tax rich people as much as possible. They want rich people to be paying as much taxes as possible, even though a lot of these people have earned their money just like you earn your money every week, every month, every year. So I would mind, as someone who runs an online business and is self-employed themselves, it would be taking more money out of my pocket. Of course I would mind. But also, even before I was making this money that I'm making now, I would mind because I had aspirations to make the money that I'm making now. So the only people who wouldn't mind, which is the majority of America, apparently, are people who've just given up on their hope and their dreams and aspirations of making it and making a lot of money and living a life of lavish like they want to live. They're just accepted the fact that they're going to be wherever they want to be, and they're not going to make it there. They want as many tax breaks as the everyday worker, and they want the rich people to be paying most of the taxes. I think that if you actually were to campaign on taxing the rich, don't put it in that phrasing though, because it sounds like socialism, but if you were to run a campaign on rich people paying more taxes, you make over $3 million a year, maybe you pay more taxes. A lot of people would like that. I really do. I think a lot of America would like that. They'd enjoy that. And I'm very curious to see what you guys think in the comments below or disagree with that. But I think a lot of people would support that, because they've given up on their own affirmations and dreams, and they've given up on their own, you can do it. It's just it's for another time, man, honestly, but most people have given up on that, really. But let's go ahead and see what happens here in this clip here, Pat PBD.
You're in your 70s and you've already made your money to say, hey, let's do it to the guys now. I didn't get it. Now let me do it to the other guys. That's not fair.
Pick a number. Pick a number that's a reasonable number.
Fair. You have to earn the right to raise taxes. The government has to earn the moral authority to be able to say, let's raise taxes. How do you earn the moral authority? By showing what you do with the money. 7 years Pentagon hasn't been able to show our audits. They failed an audit 7 years in a row. You want us to trust the U.S. government?
there are some functions that government needs to perform.
I don't disagree, but not as much money as you want us to give to you.
Well, I mean, half the discretionary budget is going to the Pentagon. Let's cut that. I'm not suggesting we totally eliminate all weapons.
I think the president is wanting to cut. This is why he won so many Democrats. Can you imagine? Were you a John F. Kennedy fan when you were younger?
Yeah.
His nephew went to the other side. His nephew, who loved his dad and loved his uncle, became an addict for 14 years because he lost his dad, and we almost lost Bobby. He eventually got so sick of what the left did, and he went to the other side. So did Tulsi. So did Trump. Trump used to be a Democrat. So did Musk. Musk used to be a Democrat. So did Rogan. Rogan used to be a Democrat. He may still be. I mean, this is the most devastating season ever for Democrats, ever. Every state turned more Republican. 89 counties turned more Republican. 7 battleground states. Majority went to him. The last time that happened was 20-some years ago. This is one of those moments where Americans sat there and watched. The Democrats had control during COVID, and they tried to abuse Americans. And they said, leave us the fuck alone. Leave us alone. I don't want you to force me to do anything. And for you, Ben, a successful man like you that built an incredible business that the rest of us get to smile. You make people smile. Every time somebody has your product, they are smiling. They're happy. You know what is the most happiest the moment of my week? When I get to take my daughter to this ice cream shop in Fort Lauderdale, and she eats her ice cream, and her reaction, I melt. You produced a product that put smile on millions of people's faces. That's what you produce, because you worked your ass off, and you took advantage of the opportunities that they gave you. You saved every penny so you can pay your people better, to create a better company. You're a hero. You're a hero. And the other side likes you because you give them money, but if you didn't and you were a Republican, you would be despised by the other side.
100%, man. And this is brutal, man, to be honest with you. Like, this guy, he's an older guy. He's just kind of sitting there taking it, but he repeatedly says dumb things, and eventually Patrick Bet-David is going to snap and just, set him straight, put him right in his place and say, hey, man, this here is why you're completely wrong. And that's what he did. And that's why I enjoy these and enjoy watching Patrick Bet-David so much. He tries to be cordial with his guests, tries to be personable, but whenever they say things that are just too unhinged, too out of hand, he's not scared at all to just pull the trigger and say, dude, look, here's the truth of the matter. Really curious what you all think about this in the comment section below. I'd love to hear. That's all from me today. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.